What if the thing that you are pushing your child to do is actually slowing them? Kids all day long, do it yourself. Go clean your room. Figure it out. Be responsible. And when they don't, we kind of double down on those efforts. But I want you to consider, what if independence is not the goal? Just think about that for a minute. And how does that feel? That might feel very uncomfortable for you. Because in our culture, we value independence, responsibility, and respect. We want kids to get dressed on their own, to do their chores by themselves, to handle homework independently, to manage their friendships and conflicts by themselves. And on paper, it sounds maybe right, but here's what I see every single day with families. Kids are not rising to that pressure. Instead, they're shutting down, they're avoiding, they are arguing, they're melting down. They're so resistant, they can't even play by themselves. A lot of the families that I work with, the kids don't just go play by themselves without getting into some kind of trouble, unless they're on a screen, and then that's the only time that the parents get a break, right? And parents may be left thinking, why can't they just do it? Like, they know how to get dressed. Like, why do I need to be there? And we can spend a lot of time in that resistance of like, why do I have to be there? And not wanting to be there, and it taking longer because we're pushing and pushing for them to do it on their own. This is because we're skipping some steps. Maybe just one step, but we're skipping a step. Humans were actually never wired to do life alone. We were built for connection. We were built for co-regulation and working alongside somebody. We weren't built for isolation. We push independence too early, and too early doesn't have to do with an age. It has to do with where they are, when they're ready. Or we push for it too hard. We actually create a gap. This is a gap in emotional development. It's a gap in the cognitive growth, and a gap in problem-solving skills. And when I think about all of the families that I work with that have kids that have ADHD, and then it moves into conduct disorders or mood disorders, oppositional defiance, and maybe it's coexisting with autism, some things like that. These are gaps in executive functioning, and some gaps we're going to work to build up, and there may still be some lags and some gaps. But when I think about how we were meant to be, and I think about our culture and our society, and I see so many gaps and so many kids, it just makes you wonder, if we were more geared towards a togetherness and a team approach to life, and raising our children to grow up in our world rather than compartmentalizing everybody into their own thing. If that would change, especially when we know that it is actually the connecting and the togetherness is what helps wire the brain for emotional development and cognitive growth and problem-solving skills. I've been reading this book called Hunt, you're going to see it backwards, but Hunt, Gather, Parent. And it's been reinforcing these ideas. It makes me feel so good about the things that I have talked to parents about in my parenting groups and in the parenting support, because it is really, this book talks about how other cultures are parenting, and it's amazing to just see like how we've kind of created some of the issues here, and what we can. I'm always really focused on, like, I don't really know how they were created, or I don't really care how it was created. Like, let's get it better. Let's focus on it. Like, let's do the things. And it's often counterintuitive. For example, I have kids that when we first start the program, they can't spend 20 minutes to 30 minutes by themselves. without, doing something destructive or having to have a screen or having to have the parents' attention. And it doesn't take very long in the program of being together and having everybody work together and, all of these different things that the child starts to be able to play independently. And if I just saw it once or twice, it would be one thing, but it's all the time. It's so amazing. This whole thing about body doubling with kids that are ADHD, it's not a sickness. Like, this is not a problem. This is actually how we're wired to be side by side with somebody. It doesn't mean somebody's doing the work for us, but we have somebody there. We're in it together. Most people don't realize that togetherness actually will build independence faster. When you sit with your child while they're doing homework, while you clean a room with them, you start the chore together, you help them to enter into social situations rather than sending them into it, you are not making them dependent. You are actually building up their confidence, their sense of safety and security. It's building those skills, not just the skills of how to do it. So we're not talking about just throwing a bunch of instructions at kids or instructing them the entire time. It's letting them be, but being close and doing it alongside. It actually builds their momentum. It helps them to focus on the task at hand. You have so many kids that are scattered, right? That can't finish something that they start or can't start something to even finish it. And this helps build that. It builds the motivation in your kids. And it's so amazing. I love watching this part of the family change as I work with them. So this is what it looks like. Instead of go clean your room, I want you to try, let's go do your room together for 10 minutes. Instead of just start your homework, try, I'll sit with you while you get started. I'm going to be right here. You do this first problem, and then I'll look at it. And it's giving them the guidelines of like, instead of just, you need to figure this out and don't bother me, we're talking about, let's think through this together. It's not doing it for them, it's doing it with them. And there is a difference. And it may take you kind of wrapping your head around that, because you might have been raised where it wasn't. Like, it's been a while now in our society since most people are kind of raised with their parents, doing the things that their parents do. And we've really become a child-centered, all about entertaining our kids, and everything has to be for them to be entertained, rather than it is for them, but it's to learn and grow and develop. And that's a big difference. Now, I'm not saying that we should never have, go somewhere with our kids or do something fun or let them have their activities or their friends. Far from it. They need that kind of interaction as well. I just think it's our mindset. And the funny thing about it is that most parents are so exhausted and don't really want to spend more time with their kids. And part of why they're exhausted is this constant resistance to doing it together. So it's like, if you spend 30 minutes trying to get your child to go in and brush their teeth, how is that not more exhausting than just saying, it's time to go brush your teeth, I'll be right here, and I'll start the timer, or we'll listen to a song, or whatever. It's like, we can be done in 5 minutes rather than 20 minutes of like, nope, you didn't brush them good enough, or no, you didn't do this, or the child melting down because they don't want to do it. It's just, when you make this shift, you are going to see more cooperation, less resistance, better focus, stronger relationships, and yes, more independence. And is coupled with that respect because of the connectedness. And your child isn't alone in it. And this is, I really believe this is what we're doing. We're raising children to become adults and to be able to take their place in society, to know how to build that with the best of their ability as well. They're supported in it. The other thing is that it I want you to question some of your mindset as a Western thinker, if you are listening to this, of how much we are constantly trying to get away from our kids. Like, I just want me time, like spending more time together. I've had parents and kids tell me, like, this sounds terrible. Like, I don't want to spend more time with my family. I don't want to spend more time with my kids. And I know it's because we're making it way, way harder. Of course, it's going to be exhausting if the more time means more trying to entertain them and keep them busy and keep them out of trouble. And it does become very rough. And I'm not saying that we can all just, quit what we're doing and bring our kids into, something else, right? But it's just acknowledging that what we're doing probably is not working. And it's not because your child is lazy or defiant. It's not because you're lazy or defiant. It's just not working very well in our society, the way that we are approaching raising kids, and the demand on us as parents to keep everything so child-centered and focused that we've lost what we're actually doing in this. And I think it takes some thought about reshaping what it means to be dependent. I think that it's very important to have connection, and a child needs to be dependent to build that strong parent-child relationship. And then as they grow and mature, we become interdependent. Our goal isn't necessarily to be independent, like I don't need anybody else and I just want to be alone and I don't want anybody to ask anything of me or for me to feel like I have to give anything. Like, that is not really what it is to be human. But we can be connected and interdependent in healthier ways, for sure. And I think it's something that we're always working on, hopefully, as people. But this is some ways to kind of look at it in your family. If you want more help figuring out what this actually looks like in your home, please reach out, because it is not easy to do this by yourself. I love this book that I'm reading, but I know that if I had just read this book and not had the help in developing the tools to actually do it, it's quite the process of making those changes and figuring out how you want to do it. So you can definitely reach out to me. You can set up a free call and we can talk about what's going on, or you can leave a comment and I will get back to you. Thank you.